the Designated Drinker Show, the podcast that's raising the bar and craft cocktails. I am Louise Solis, your host and guide today. And with me, as always, is a very talented and quite lovely, I might add. If I'm her Cagney, she is my Lacey, the mixtress DC Gina.
Hi, that's cute. That was cute. I wasn't ready.
Little detective act from the 80s.
Like
you like that?
I feel like I should have one of these right now, but what else?
Well, we might do that later. You never know.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
A drink or two. Who knows?
I mean, trench coat. We are in New Orleans.
Yeah, we are. Kind of funny today. I want to say that the show is going to be brought to you by some pretty strong damn women everywhere. And when I tell you who today's guest is, it's all going to make sense. And she's actually inspired me to want to share the following quote. Ready?
Go.
A woman who knows what she brings to the table is not afraid to eat alone. And you know me, Gina, I never meet a stranger, so I don't eat alone anyway, ever, even if the person next to me wants me to. But anyway, let's make this twosome a threesome, shall we?
Yes.
And let's introduce our next designated drinker, the hostess with the mostess. So much cheese today.
Yeah.
Brennan's head bartender extraordinaire, Lou Brow.
Thank you for such a warm welcome.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to my city.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope you'll make it your home while you're here.
Absolutely. So just so everyone knows, we are in the heart of New Orleans. We are at the Napoleon House, which they're graciously hosting us again. And just so you know, there's a lot of construction going on. You're going to hear a lot of bumps and maybe some bruises, let's hope not, but you'll hear it along the way, and that's just because they're doing some amazing work to this really beautiful historic building. So you should come down, check it out.
Yes.
Oh, that's not construction. That's just the spirits that live in the building.
You are never alone in this space, ever.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So, Luke, tell us about your journey here with the Brennan Group. And
Well, I think the thing that I'm most proud of is to be in a group that has always celebrated women in this industry. Starting with Ella Brennan, who started with managing Brennan's when she was 18 years old in 1951. So she was always, way ahead of her time and always inspired me. And of course, we lost her recently.
Yeah.
And here's to a life well lived.
Yeah.
Because she inspired and mentored so many women. And I think too, in another way, I want to really think about how I say this, is that she also taught a lot of gentlemen how to treat women in our industry.
Yeah. Well, it's important.
And that you treat them with respect and that we're equals.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was something that was so apparent to me from day one.
Yeah.
Which was a big, nice, deep breath. That's so refreshing. So I think we have her to thank for a lot that goes on in our city, a lot that goes on in our restaurant and hospitality business.
Yes. I mean, fortunately, there's some bad press that's going on, but it's always wonderful to hear about, especially, a woman taking that lead.
That lead.
And that's, we all, it takes a village. It really does. And you're right. And if, we all need, your sons, your brothers, all need to learn how to, your husbands, don't get me wrong, to treat a woman with respect. Absolutely.
I got one of those recently. I don't know.
But then we also need to treat each other that way too. And absolutely share that knowledge and make for a better, happier world, damn
And
it.
check on each other.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She was a strong woman as well. She didn't take it. She made sure that she held herself as a lady. From everything I've read and seen.
Always tough but fair. One of the most fair ladies I've ever met in my life. Always. So there wasn't any. It was always a learning experience. It wasn't. It wasn't a discipline without some form of learning and encouragement.
Great.
Always.
That's awesome. But it's not just Ella and you. There's a lot of other people in your organization, right?
Yes. So with the Commanders Group over there, you, of course, have her daughter leading the way, T. Martin, and then Miss Ella's niece, Lally.
Yeah.
And so I, work now for Ralph, who is Lally's brother.
Yes.
And we have a lot of strong women in our organization as well.
That's great.
So that's been refreshing too. So
it's amazing to see how those things are going. I mean, this is a long history for you for this space, but it'll be interesting to see how things are changing and women taking more prominent roles and leadership roles in all sorts of organizations and throughout the world. It'll be interesting to see how your daughters, what their world will be like.
What was that movie back in like the 60s, whatever, when women just ruled the planet and there were no men? What was it?
Called Paradise?
Yeah. No, you know what I'm talking about? They were like on like the days of like Barbarella and all that. They had like that there was a movie when all the women were on the planet and they were I can't think of the name of the movie.
Oh, I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah, now that's when you use your little phone to look everything up.
And I don't let you have the phone on set.
Well, anyway, so the women did rule the planet. It was like a perfect utopia, except, comes that little thing sometimes you're like, have a little companionship. But, you can find that too with a woman, so, or something else. I don't know. Anyway.
So Gina, have you guys known each other for a while? It's in cut from the same cloth?
Yeah.
I have been taught, taking seminars, schooled. She was working behind a bar and learned a lot. This is my 15th year here for coming down for Tails. And when I first met Lou, she does not remember me. I juiced all of her juice for a seminar, and I was like so proud to bring her a bucket. And she's like, "Did you strain it?" And I was like, "No." And I went and strained it. Right back, this looks all strange. She's like, "Is it how many ounces I asked for?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Did you measure and made sure?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Well, I don't have to measure this again." I'm like, "No." And it was like, and I just gave it to her. And that was in the time when, you had to still measure and do your own thing when you were prepping your stuff. But I was just in awe. And I took this one, she did this one event once where they made this tomato. It was like tomato, bacon, drink, and she had a visiting mixologist from another city.
I remember that.
And it was like a BLT cocktail, and just kind of changed everything for me. It's like they were juicing lettuce and they're making this cocktail, and this was a good 10 years ago. This is in the very beginning. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I gotta juice all the lettuce. And I think I went back to DC and juiced every green thing I could possibly find.
So funny.
I look back now. Do you ever look back at some of the drinks you've created in the past and think, what was I thinking? Boy, that was a lot of prep.
But amazing. Can you elaborate? I would love for you to elaborate a little bit on your journey, because I feel like, I know you and like that, but you're so much of an inspiration for me, and I know a lot of women that bartend, and I just kind of want everybody to know how you kind of got here to being Lou Brow and people know you.
Well, I appreciate your kind words, and they mean more to me than you'll ever know. So, I was lucky enough to get with the Brennan family when I moved to New Orleans. And it was really funny because they were interviewing me for a different position. And later on, when I was talking to T about it, we laughed about it because it was a very hard interview process. And she goes, every time I talk to you, I'm talking to you about a management position and all this, you just keep talking about drinks. All you wanted to talk about were drinks. And she goes, I take you here and you go back to drinks. I take you there, you go back to drinks. And she said, so I kept thinking, this girl wants to really do drinks. And she said, but at the time, we put you, and this was pre-Katrina, put you in the front of the house as a beverage manager and, working in the dining room and everything and working with the bartenders with drinks. She goes, but the whole time you wanted to be behind the bar. She said, I knew it. Then Katrina happened and different things happened. The restaurant was closed for a while, and I was given an offer at that time, a very generous offer of being able to pick whatever position you wanted, because they just needed people to staff in New Orleans to get places open. Yeah. So, you had different people fulfilling different roles. And I said, I'll be a bartender. And about 3 weeks into it, one night, tea was sitting at the bar, and she looked at me and she said, "You're never going back, are you?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And she said, "Well, in a year, if you change your mind, because it's been a pretty crazy process, everything we've been through, then let me know and I have your back." And I said, "Oh, I'm not going." Yeah, no, this is it. And so that's how it kind of all started, you know.
That's amazing.
And I had a big background in loving to cook. Which I don't cook as much as I used to, but, I grew up preserving vegetables and fruit and canning things with my mother when I was very young. So I think that kind of gave me the love and just the satisfaction from it. I love making people happy with something I make.
Yeah.
And her cherries.
And I still make cherries. I still make them for Christmas.
What does that mean? What? Let me in. I don't know.
Before I even knew about Luxardo cherries, I used to brandy my own cherries.
Oh, nice.
And I still do at Christmas and give them as little gifts. But
She used to have them behind her bar all the time. She had like the cherries and stuff and the garnish. When I first went to Swizzle, right?
yes, that's it.
So Swizzle Bar, and first time I went there, I walked in, I was like, "What is this?" It was this big block of ice in the middle of a bar, and then every station had every perfect amount of garnish, and everything was cut beautifully. And there was these cherries, and I had a Manhattan. I don't remember what I had. Yeah, I had a Manhattan. And the bartender wasn't you. It was a bartender put in. He said, "Would you like a cherry or a twist or whatever?" And they asked me all the right questions. And of course, I'm getting nervous because I'm like, I was a kid. I didn't know what I liked, so I was like, I don't know. And he's like, "Well, we should have it with this. Our lead bartender makes this." That's what they said. And I was like, "Oh," and put it in and I drank it. I was like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, it's not with star anise." I don't know what he said was in there. I want to say it was like star anise and orange. I don't know what you put in.
Cinnamon and
Yeah.
cinnamon sticks and clove. And
It was delicious. And all I knew after that was I could never buy cherries again.
Yeah.
Because everything I thought what a cherry was not the right thing anymore.
She had ruined a bad cherry for
very
you.
many cherries, like you do. We don't get very many cherries in New Orleans. We just have a season that's about this long for them. But we enjoy them when we get them.
So that's why you have to preserve that?
Yeah, Yeah.
I love that. Then she taught a class, and then you taught a class. She taught a class seminar at one point with I don't remember who it was with. But you guys were talking about your garnish game and like the
Garnish game. Wow.
It was like a panel. It was a long time ago. It was on the panel, and they had those garnishes and like how you store your garnishes and what you do with your leaves and this is how you take care of this. I mean, like mind numbing. All right. So anyway, sorry. All right. You're at Brennan's. You're working there.
And now back to you, Lou.
What's funny about that is last night I was honored with Tony Abuganim, who's just somebody that has mentored me, and love Tony. And he was in the bar, and one of my bartenders, was obsessed with spanking mint, which I am totally against. So anyway, and I mentioned it to him one day, and I said, it's not my style. I think all the oil from it, it's a delicate, herb. All the oil goes on the bartender's hands and none's left in the drink. That's my opinion. And I mean,
Yeah.
So he was there last night, and my coworker asked him, he said, "Hey, how do you feel about that?" And without missing a beat, he goes, "I don't like it. It really makes me angry." And I looked at my friend and coworker, and he said, "I'm not going to do it anymore then." I said, "Okay, thank you."
Makes me angry.
No, I think
everybody has their style.
Yeah.
Everybody has their style.
I don't believe in the big slap, like that clap thing.
Yeah.
I'm not into that.
I like to take the stem right off and then kind of release some of the oil from it. Everybody's got their own method of what they want to do with that.
So explain to me, what does that mean? Like when
there was a group of people that thought that when you hit it really hard like that, it expressed the oil. Personally, I think it leaves it on your hands.
So how do you do it?
We have it soaked. I ice it down first, make sure that it's really hydrated. And then when we put it in a drink, I just snap the stem.
You snap the stem.
And then it just releases a little bit more of aroma.
Oh, so the at-home bartender could practice each way and see how they feel.
I love an at-home bartender while we're talking about that. I love guests when they come in and they experiment with drinks at home, or they come in our bars and they see things and they want to go back home and replicate them. Yeah. It makes me very happy.
I think it's great when you have a bartender that is is that? Like, it will help you or tell you how to do it or share some of those behind the bar secrets. I mean, Gina obviously is very generous at telling all of us how to do this, which is great. But when you sit down and you have somebody, that hospitality part, that key element about sitting there and hanging out with somebody who is hostess with the mostess, but I mean, it really is inviting you to stay and have a drink, and if you have questions, they're happy to share it with you. It makes for a great experience.
And then when they come back in and see you and say, you know what, I did that. I did that, and their confidence starts to build. It's just
or like, I think I did it, but it was awful.
Yes, and believe me, I've done the same thing. And then I just get to the point where, like, I'm waiting for an invitation to your home.
See, that's what I love about New Orleans. It would not be weird for you to be invited to someone's house to have a drink, but if you invite somebody to your house in DC and have a drink, it's like, creeper wants to come to my house.
So different here. Yeah.
Well, it's. I used to live in Hawaii, and it's very much the same. Like, if I invite you to my home, it's like, it's not weird at all. It's absolutely, come on over.
Yes, absolutely.
Island life, or just maybe the southern, like, maybe it's just the heat. The warmth, I don't know. The humidity, I don't know.
I mean, I like the idea of it just being the heat. You know what? I think it's time for a drink.
Let's do a drink.
I don't know what's in there. What's going on in that? It's beautiful, by the way. So pretty.
A friend lent me this beautiful stirring glass, which she carried all the way here from DC. So I have to say that this is incredible. All right, so what we have in here is we know that Lou likes her gin, or gin in general, not
or everybody else's gin.
Yeah.
And so what this is it's actually London dry gin. So it's Bombay Sapphire, and we took it and we put so in here we have 2.5 ounces, and there's 2 drinks, so double the amount, and then just one tea bag, and it's about a tablespoon of just chamomile. And the reason why I use the tea bag is, like, normally if I was doing this at a restaurant, I would do this in a big batch, but like when you're doing this at home, you can make one drink for yourself and you let it sit. So maybe you get home from work and you take a tea bag and you put it inside of 2.5 ounces of gin, and you let it sit there, and then after you get changed or whatever you're gonna do, it'll be ready in
Check the mail.
30, 45 minutes. And you can do it in less time, but when you do it, there's around, I think I say we're about 30, 35, 40 minutes in there. You get this beautiful golden color. And I love it because it's got it's gorgeous, like, herbaceousness to it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And but you have to remember, gin already has all that herbaceousness in it already. It's got the coriander and anise and dried lemon peels and grapefruit, depending on what you're using. And, it doesn't need you to, or orris root, it doesn't need you to, and of course juniper, to taint it up too much, because it is what it is. And I personally love just a stirred martini. It's kind of really nice. I will say this though, that I am a believer in vermouth. I see that some people are always like, oh, it's not that, but for me, I like a ratio of a little bit disproportionate. I like 2.5 to a 1 ratio when I do an infusion, or a 2-1 for a regular martini. So we're gonna do that right now. So we're gonna use just a regular straight vermouth, dry. I'm gonna put 1 ounce, and then we're gonna put another ounce.
And you always keep your vermouth in the refrigerator, correct?
Yes, cold. Keep your vermouth cold. Please don't leave your vermouth on your bar. And if you do and your bar is freezing, I understand, or you live in Alaska, we're good.
And you have no indoor heating.
The Northern Lights is something you see every day. You're probably fine, but if you're in a hot climate, your vermouth is temperamental and you might want to just leave it alone. So, little thing that I like a chilled glass. I mean, again, especially we're down here in New Orleans, it's hot. So taking your liquor that's been on the shelf and doing that, you need to chill the glass to keep it cold. There's nothing worse than putting all this work in there and then you don't chill the glass, and now the glass is hot, and now the drink is room temperature, and you're like, why did I do that? Anyway, so I'm gonna put our ice in, and we are gonna give this a stir. And for those people that have listened to our podcast before, I'm a firm believer in the 30 rotations. Some people do however long they want to do it. This is what I do.
Do you have a similar rule of thumb?
25.
You have 25.
25 and add extra ice.
Oh, see?
And pour through clean ice. Yeah. Everybody has a little bit different.
But you know what? You're right. And then also, she stirs faster than I do, just so everybody knows.
Well, I'm sure. Imagine all of those things come into play.
Depends on the crowd level.
I don't stir as
Person waiting at the bar or 50.
don't you love it though when you have like that guest that really gets that first good drink before the crowd really gets there, and like you're like, all your drinks are good, but like that moment of zen that you have that peace. It's your first drink of the night. You're ready to go. Sometimes it becomes your most precious, and it's the best. So okay.
So your advice is to come early then.
But yeah, come early, stay late. All right.
Pull a shift.
So we're gonna do. I wasn't gonna do this before, but now I'm gonna do it over the glass. I was gonna. You could smell it. I know
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
So we're gonna do something a little different. I'm just gonna rub the basil in there, which I actually like to do, and I don't actually put basil in the drink. Because I put a little garnish.
So you just leave those oils on the glass surface itself?
When it's cold like this, it's really fun to do it like that, just to kind of give it like a, you're just basically perfuming the glass. You're not gonna get like this crazy herbaceous thing.
A whisper, if you will.
Yeah, you don't need to overstate something, especially when you're drinking a martini. You just need to, just do it. Suggestively. That's it. Suggestively. And we're gonna put. Oh my goodness, Lou, I'm frazzled.
Why are you frazzled?
I don't know.
It's you.
I don't know. It's too much greatness. So I like a little dime size. I am not a big. Let's get it on with there, and I don't even put it in my drink. I just like it just a little bit. We're gonna do something like this.
Oh, this is making me so happy.
I know.
And then we'll finish. We're gonna finish it just for the pretty,
So beautiful.
the daintiness, and that's it.
Oh,
Cheers.
so excited. Cheers.
Better we go.
And cheers to you. I can't tell you how honored I am to be here.
Oh. I'm like terrified right now, Lou. I'm like, just I like it.
Oh my gosh, that's lovely.
That's
Wow.
in the finish on that. You really start to. The chamomile comes out in the finish on that. That is amazing.
And the aroma on the nose, everything is beautiful about it.
Thank you. Your checks. I'll give you the envelope in a minute, okay?
Just slide in.
I'll be like, thank you so much, Lou, for coming.
Quick question though, with those tea bags that you discarded, do you just save those for the next morning, like the morning after? You've been out all night, you just apply
Oh,
them?
on your eyelid. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
You put them in the freezer. Gin soaked.
I'd say after the night I had last night, I should have had that in my eyes this morning. I wasn't ready for that. I forget what the city has to get you.
Yeah, Nola can get you.
And it's the humidity. It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
It's not the alcohol. Speaking of, I think do another drink.
What?
I'm gonna take another sip.
Oh, another sip.
That's okay with you. Oh yeah, can you make me another?
I was like, that's a hefty martini size, but okay. Okay. I mean, if they're gonna go in a whole different
No
direction.
judging. We're in Nola.
I mean, I'll go in a different direction. Let's, we'll cancel everything out.
Well, I say let's do that. So if you want this recipe or any of the other recipes that Gina whips up for us on these shows, which are all amazing, just head on over to designateddrinker.show. That's designateddrinker.show. And for all those recipes and how-tos. So that brings us to, unless you have something else.
I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
I'm dying to know what you ladies drink before we conclude for the day. What do you drink? What's your go-to?
All right, ready? Summertime, for me, gin. Love gin. Or if I'm going out to dinner, pre-gin martini, fave. And then I think whiskey. I love whiskey drinks and like rye and stuff. I don't think there's anything I don't particularly not like. I just prefer.
I have go-tos. I love gin. And I love a dirty martini. My martini's gotta be like filthy. Okay. Like my ankles are swelling with every sip. Sodium for a week. And then I'm a tequila girl.
Oh, yes. Well.
Yeah.
Shots.
She likes me to do shots. I like to sip them, and she gives me shit for not shooting, so I just sip them. That's a lot of sisters to say.
Whatever. Mezcal, I think mezcal sipping is
Why I love this drink so much is because I'm originally from North Louisiana, where sweet tea is basically the house wine of the South.
Oh, yeah.
And so when you put tea in the drink, it's just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nod to being Southern.
I didn't even know that, and now I knew that. No, I didn't.
Of course you knew that.
Cheers for coming.
Cheers. Thank you, ladies. What a lovely way to start my day.
So I say we just close this up.
All right.
All right. And so that means
Catch up with you ladies later.
you know this saying better than I do, I'm sure. It's last call. We don't have to go home, but let's just go hang out at Brennan's with Lou.
Yes. Yes, if you'll have us.
I would love to. I would love to.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.